Britney Bitch.
Hey up guys, so today's movie that I want to discuss is a documentary that has gotten a lot of people talking and it's raised some interesting discourse on social media. It's Samantha Stark's Framing Britney Spears. It's available to watch on Hulu, Now TV or Sky Cinema. Growing up in the 90s, Britney Spears was like the biggest pop star on the face of the earth. She was inescapable. Her music defined a generation. To this day, I still lose my shit whenever I hear do 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 or it's Britney Bitch. In a club somewhere. I mean, back when clubbing was a thing. That's my question for you guys today. What are your favorite Britney Spears tracks? Wherever they are, let me know in that comment section down below. Do help me out by hitting that like button. And if you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. When it comes to famous people, they don't get much bigger than Britney Spears did in the 90s and early noughties. Our cultural obsession with Britney Spears has always persisted. So much of her life has been in the public eye, from her Mouseketeer days to her becoming an international pop star, to her 2007 breakdown, to her father becoming her conservator, which brings us up to today and the hashtag Free Britney movement. Samantha Stark covers all of this in her documentary, but through a sympathetic lens for Britney. And just watching what Britney Spears was subjected to during the 90s and noughties from the point of view of today, where we're only just now having more open discussions about mental health, body shaming, and we've got stricter rules on what the paparazzi can and can't do, it makes you realize three things. Firstly, just how rough Britney had it. Secondly, how we were all culpable in her downfall. And thirdly, given everything that Britney went through, it is a miracle that she is still alive today. There were numerous times watching this documentary where I audibly gasped, groaned, ughed, or rolled my eyes at what Britney was subjected to, and I guess still is subjected to. From invasive, sexist, misogynistic, and inappropriate interview questions about her virginity and breasts, to her being vilified for her breakup with Justin Timberlake, something which Justin Timberlake himself played a key role in shaping the narrative to work in his favor, to the mass scrutiny about her impromptu marriage to Kevin Federline and then her subsequent divorce and her being labeled an unfit mother, to the downright dangerous way the paparazzi constantly stalked and barraged her, some of which were purposely trying to get photographs of her looking her worst, as well as trying to get photographs of her up her skirt. Given the intensity of how much she was under the microscope, where every move she made was documented by the tabloids, and every minor hiccup was turned into some sort of frenzy, which the public inevitably tore her to shreds for, is it any wonder she hit a breaking point back in 2007? You know, there's those moments in pop culture or celebrity culture which are so huge that people feel the need to ask you, where were you when Princess Diana died? Or where were you when you found out Michael Jackson died? Well, you can add, where were you when Britney Spears shaved her head to that list of monumental zeitgeist moments? I remember it very specifically because I used to work in a newsagent's back in 2007. I just remember that morning seeing bald Britney Spears over every single newspaper there was, not just the tabloids, but The Guardian, The Times, The Telegraph. Every news outlet was reporting on this. This was considered the biggest news story of the day. And what's truly sad about this is that now that I look back on it, back then, a small part of me, enjoyed watching Britney spiral. We all did, though. There was some sort of perverse entertainment value from watching her unravel. It was such a spectacle in the media. People were practically eating popcorn as it was happening. We all have to take responsibility for contributing to Britney's downfall. We consumed the magazine articles, the news stories, the disheveled photos of Britney in the media. There was a demand for it, and we made it okay for her to be a target of the paparazzi. We are all culpable in some sense. I can't even listen to Britney's Toxic the same way anymore. The song has taken on this whole new meaning now that we've seen how badly Britney was treated. Back then, Britney was a punchline, the butt of everyone's jokes. People thought it was funny that Britney shaved her head and not a clear cry for help. There was this pack mentality that it was cool to bash Britney when she was down. Remember Chris Crocker and the infamous Leave Britney Alone video, which went viral, he too became a target of Britney bashing just for simply defending her. But if you watch that clip of him back now, you'll see everything he said in that video was right. It just wasn't a popular opinion at the time. So hats off to Chris Crocker for being one of the few people brave enough to have moral fiber and defend Britney Spears during that difficult patch in her life. This documentary shows us that even if we didn't necessarily jump on board the Britney bashing bandwagon, that we still allowed it to happen, and that in some sense we are all responsible for it. So for anything that I might have said that was disparaging or hurtful about Britney Spears back when she was having this rough time, I do want to say to Britney Spears that I am sorry. I didn't think I was being malicious at the time, but I don't think a lot of people did. But looking back on it now, it's not something we should be proud of, and it's something that we need to learn and grow from. But it also does highlight how general societal attitudes have evolved since then with the mistreatment of celebrities, mental health, and general well-being. I wish I could say that things have gotten better since they introduced these new paparazzi laws and what have you, but with the birth of social media, it hasn't been eradicated. It's merely just evolved into something new and just as toxic, and that's cancel culture. After such a fall from grace in 2007, Britney's father, Jamie Spears, was appointed as her legal conservator, which Samantha Stark's documentary goes into extensive detail about. If you guys aren't familiar with what a conservatorship is, basically it means someone has control over another person's life, their estate, their finances, any big life decisions, and this is what applies with Jamie Spears and his daughter Britney Spears. He has a say in everything that Britney does. When you consider the circumstances of what Britney was going through back in 2008, it did make sense, but here we are, 13 years later, it's 2021, and Britney Spears is still under the conservatorship of her father. And many of Britney's fans have wondered if this is what Britney actually wants, or if she even needs conservatorship now. When I first heard about the Free Britney movement, I just thought it was fandom that got a little bit of traction in the media, but when you listen to her supporters, as well as the lawyers who are involved in the proceedings, there is some validity to the Free Britney movement. A grown woman who seems functional enough to make large quantities of money should have a say in her life and her estate. But when someone has a legal claim on her earnings, like her father, he's the one who stands to lose something. Why would he want to surrender his conservatorship over Britney when he's the one who's profiting from it? This documentary certainly takes a standpoint that Britney should be free from her conservatorship, which I do support myself, but it leaves things open to discussion and debate because as much as we want to understand the lifestyles of the rich and the famous, we don't personally know Britney and what it is that she wants. But either way, we just want Britney Spears to be happy. So let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Yes. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? Yes again. This is a really fascinating and eye-opening documentary about an iconic pop star who's been taken advantage of by the media, the public, and those closest to her. But it's so much broader than that. It's an expose on the viciousness of the media, tabloid culture, mental health, and how we as a society love to build celebrities up to then enjoy the destruction of tearing them down. This documentary has so much more substance than you think. I highly recommend it. And third question, what score to give it out of 10? I'm going to give Framing Britney Spears a score of 9 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching this review, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please do help support my channel by hitting that thumbs up button. Be sure to let me know what you thought of the Britney Spears documentary in the comment section down below. Where do you stand on the whole Free Britney movement? If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on any social media, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, all those links in that video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time.